Ooh, welcome into another episode of Hockey Royalty Live, the official podcast of hockeyroyalty.com. Tonight is episode 209, Defense is King. We're going to be talking about the recent homestand, Drew Doughty's new record-breaking numbers, maybe a little bit of trade buzz. I've been dying to put on my tinfoil hat, so let's get in the chat, like and subscribe. You know what to do. Let's go. What's up, everybody? We're back here talking about your LA Kings, but first, before that, I want to get in touch with my co-host here. It's been a while. There's been some World Series won. Some emotions ran high, but ultimately just catching up with my boys here. Joe, how you doing, man?
I'm all right, and I'll say this. That was some of the best drama the World Series in sports that I've seen. Like that game 6 and 7 was fascinating TV, fascinating entertainment. I didn't know who I was rooting for, to be honest with you. Like obviously I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't have any issues with either team. Love what the Dodgers do. And then I just remembered, wait a minute, I can't stand George Springer. So I was kind of quietly pulling for the Dodgers. So I wasn't that upset when the Blue Jays lost. So that was just incredible baseball. Incredible baseball. Russ, you had to be absolutely – I came in – had to be buzzing. That was awesome.
Yeah, man. It's funny. Saturday night, I'm supposed to be going to a Halloween party. So in the middle of like getting dressed, I dressed as a pirate, just kind of putting it out there. So in the middle of getting dressed, putting on my outfit or whatever, I have the Kings game on one TV on my computer, and then I have the Dodger game obviously going on. And like you said, just incredible stuff. I mean, so many just monumental historic plays that probably go down in franchise history. I mean, the Andy Paez catch, the Miguel Rojas homer. I mean, and you can go on and on just kind of watching that game and the Will Smith home run, and then they end up winning it. And I see the clips of like Kershaw coming out from the bullpen and like all the celebrations, like going into this World Series. And like I put baseball as probably like third on my totem pole on like sports I'm interested in. Like, and it was like last year I was elated, obviously. Sorry, Joe, but I was elated with the World Series win, and it was great. I went to the parade and whatnot. This year I was kind of like a little sat back, like, okay, like it's great. But like once it kind of got to the World Series and once it started, I was like fully invested. I was like, all right, this is in it. Talking crap with all the Toronto fans. Sorry, my Toronto Kings fans that are in here, but it was just so much fun to watch, and it was just great for baseball. I felt like with all the talk about like the Dodgers ruining baseball, I just thought the series and the baseball in general, and like credit to the Blue Jays, they played phenomenal too. I mean, I was always a big Vlad Guerrero fan. His dad, Vlad Sr., growing up here in Orange County, being able to watch him play out here for the Angels. I mean, I used to love watching him play. Great player. And now his son, I love watching his son play. So they have so many good players. I'm sure they'll be back. We'll see, unless Joe's Yankees have something to say about it. But yeah, it was incredible television for sure.
Yeah, I was buzzing to get out of work on Saturday to get to some sort of bar to watch the end of this, and I had it on before I left, and Blue Jays hit that home run, or I think it was a home run or a base hit, and up 3-0. I was like, I mean, like they're like the entire team was batting over like 360. Like I don't know how the Blue Jays lost this series, but I mean, you're just looking at it like the amount of key plays, the amount of double plays. You know, Blue Jays almost won by a millimeter in the ninth. You had, you know, they took out the center fielder to put Podges in, and then he makes that catch.
Yeah.
You know, you have like Roberts has a gut feeling to play Rojas at second in Game 6, and he had a couple key moments. It's like, and then Rojas was smart enough. He said, "Hey, I don't think I have anything left in my arm. Like, take me out and put Kim in case there's a defensive play there." Like, it just seemed like the Dodgers were battling for each other the whole round. Everybody got behind every single player, And there were small things that every single player had in the series that even the bench players had moments to where they came up big. You know, the guy that in the 18th game, like hasn't even started a game all like for the last 4 seasons, hasn't pitched more than 4 innings since college, and then pitched 4 shutouts innings in the World Series. I just, you know, it just was amazing, and it really pulled together. And Kershaw goes out as on top and will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Dodgers legend, number retired, the whole 9 yards for them. Even though he didn't play a huge role in this series, he still had his moments where they needed him to come in big in the 18-inning game. So, and then what a pitching performance from Yamamoto. Truly an MVP, deserved. I haven't seen a pitching performance like that since Madison Bumgarner when he did that for the Giants. In 3 games, pitched 2 2/3 of an inning after throwing 90-something pitches before, and it's just a truly testament of Will that he came in, you know, and as much as it's because his English isn't really his strong suit, but him saying that losing wasn't an option, it really felt that way from him. Like, I'm going to come in, I'm getting these outs, and you guys aren't going to do anything about it. I mean, the Blue Jays saw him 3 separate games and couldn't hit him at all. So just a testament to the team. So congrats everybody, to all your Dodger fans out there. But now you got to congratulate yourselves at listening to another episode of us talking about your favorite LA Kings. Before I want to get in there, Al Smith, thank you for getting in the chat early. And Sean Cameron, first time watching us live. Congratulations for joining us.
Sean.
Welcome in. Throw some. You get a free question, my man. Throw it in there, and we'll throw it on the screen and talk about it there. Appreciate you coming in. And everybody else in here, you got Nick. Get outside. It was an amazing series. Gwendolyn was fun being at that game. Congratulations on going to a World Series. But let's get into the Kings. Recent homestand. They got one more game tomorrow night, the Thursday. If you guys are listening, against the last place Florida Panthers. Who would have thought that? Well, I did, considering like 2 of their best players are out. But I thought they, but you know, you deal the hand that you were dealt, and Kings get them on the back of their homestand here, where they have a chance to come out on top of the home series with points. Finished up beating the Winnipeg Jets last night 3-0 in a slog fest of who does not want to shoot the puck the most. But Kings come out with 2 points, shutout win for Kemper. What are we thinking about this homestand? Has anything really kind of developed with this team?
Not too much. I think last night's game, I was going into it thinking like, man, they have to win at least one of these games, whether it be Winnipeg or Florida, or else like there's going to be a lot of people calling for people's heads and jobs and whatnot. But they got the win last night. That was good. Overall, I feel like the homestand's been kind of disappointing, especially with how they played before the homestand. The Detroit game, I felt like they've just been looked disconnected pretty much the entire homestand. I think maybe last night was probably the best they've looked, obviously, defensively, but offensively they just looked disconnected all season. It's been the same old, and maybe it's just the product of the players that they have on the team. Maybe that's what it is, or they're just totally out of sync. Because up front and forward group, I assumed that we'd see kind of that same offensive production, maybe not to the extent that they had toward the end of the season last year after they got Kuzmenko at the trade deadline. It seemed like everything was rolling. But this year, Kuzmenko's really struggling 5-on-5, although last night we played probably one of his better games of the season, so that was good. Kuzmenko's struggling 5-on-5. Quentin Byfield only has 3 points at 5-on-5. That's totally unacceptable. We can talk about that. So it's really just been this team kind of riding the backs of like Adrian Kempe for this whole year, it feels like, and this kind of this homestand as well. So I guess Corey Perry now too. So apparently is like the leader of the Kings in terms of points or goals maybe. So it is what it is right at this point, and you kind of just hope to see them kind of keep it rolling, and maybe they can go. Maybe it only goes up from here, and they can get another good win tomorrow night against Florida.
Yeah, I'm at a bit of a loss here. I mean, there just isn't a whole lot to get excited about. But they're picking up points, which is good. And obviously the West is really competitive right now. I mean, it's really competitive in that some of the standings are close, but it's not necessarily some of the best hockey that we've seen. And that's not just a Kings thing. That's I think a West thing in general. But yeah, like I don't know. We're seeing a lot of the same from an offensive standpoint. I think they were, I know they scored a lot toward the end of the season when they got Kuzmenko. I also think they were riding a little bit of a shooting percentage heater. But when you just look at the way this Kings team operates, if for anybody that is familiar with Hockey Viz, it's a very good website, and they all sorts of heat maps and stuff like that. And you just look where their shots come from. And this isn't a new thing. This isn't a thing this year. It's a thing last year. It's been a thing before. They don't generate a lot of scoring chances. They don't generate a lot of shots from the slot. Their whole thing is if they can get shots off the rush, they'll do that. Otherwise, it's cycle along the perimeter, get point shots, and hope for traffic, hope for tips. And I thought it was very telling listening to the broadcast where Jim Fox talked about, this was early in the broadcast, I think it was early in the broadcast anyways, against Winnipeg, where I don't know if it was at a practice or a morning skate or just a team meeting, and that Jim Hiller, the coaching staff, showed video of Corey Perry in front of the net, like how he operates in front of the net, for other guys to maybe emulate that. I'm paraphrasing. And to me, it's like, that's it. We're showing guys how to do net front as opposed to let's maybe open things up a little bit, maybe try to actually get shots from higher scoring, higher danger areas, try to get shots from the slot area. Instead, they're not even concerned about that. They are comfortable taking shots from the point and just hoping that Corey Perry and whoever else can do some dirty work in front. And like, there's a time and a place for that. Clearly, like that can be effective, and it's at times, but for that to be your whole philosophy, I mean, it's tough. So, hey, they're doing what they usually do and somehow keeping pucks out. Kemper's been great lately. But it's pretty uninspiring right now. Nothing's really changed that, Brandon.
Well, Sean's coming in with his first question, and I think it kind of runs with what we've been talking about. He said he asked it on Twitter, but it seemed like last year the power play ran through 96 and 11, below the goal line, sending cross-ice passes to 9 and 22, utilizing that low net front roll. Now it seems like it's a lot of point shots, hoping for tips. What have you seen from the power play and maybe the different philosophy than what we saw last year in the playoffs?
I don't totally disagree with a lot of that. I think it's been a little inconsistent, but I've seen, so like last year when they got Kuzmenko, yes, he got so many more touches of the puck down low, down in that goal line area. Sometimes he would creep toward the net. Sometimes he was more of a passing option. But what they would do a lot of times when that puck would move from, the left point, say it was Kopitar, down to 96, as Sean points out behind the goal line, 55, meaning Quentin Byfield, was a presence in that bumper area. And right now, but he was a presence in that spot. But right now, what I'm kind of seeing a little too frequently, at least for my liking, is when the puck is at the perimeter, either Kempe at the point or either of the flanks, Byfield just backs up to the top of the crease, to the bottom or the low slot. This was when Kuzmenko was there. And I'm like, that's useless, because now that makes the decision for the defenders, the killers, way easier, because you've got Kuzmenko's behind the goal line. Fiala's on the flank, but they can now spread it. And it's a much easier kill in that sense, where if Byfield is up higher in the slot to be an option for a bumper play, now Kuzmenko can slide over and he can be and he can kind of either be that net front. He can creep between net front and goal line, kind of where he had been, kind of like Velarde used to do, and like he currently does. And I think Byfield, I think it all sounded, not all, but a lot of it has to do for me with that bumper play of who that player is. And I think Byfield right now has it like, there's moments where it like clicks, right? And you see that little triangle play where it go from the left flank to Kuzmenko. Again, when he was on it, there was a couple of plays that this would happen up quickly, a one touch to Byfield, and there was, a scoring opportunity. We just saw less and less of that. And then once that opens up, then you can have that cross seam pass from Kuzmenko, because if they're going to take Byfield, you get the seam pass over to Fiala on the right flank. So it just seemed like the bumper play of Byfield wasn't where I wanted it to be. So they've made the move now to take Kuzmenko off and put Perry now, but which is okay. It's okay because that means Perry is now net front and not Byfield. I don't want my bumper guy to be net front, right? My net front guy, I want to be one of these low guys, depending on how they do it. But I want the bumper guy to always be somebody that the killers have to like be a stick length away from to open up just a little bit more space for somebody else. If Byfield keeps creeping back down and his heels are at the top of the crease, nobody's in the slot. And you got a power play with nobody in the slot. There's no seam pass to go through there. And it just wasn't working. So we'll see. Hopefully now if we see Corey Perry, I don't know that he'll be quite as maybe creative from a passing standpoint as Kuzmenko was. But if obviously the Kings want a net front. And so if Perry plays the more traditional net front, Byfield can creep up a little bit more into the high slot. Maybe we start to see some kind of ticky-tacky plays happen and open up some more seams. So it's hard to say. We'll see. But Sean, long-winded way of saying I kind of agree, where there's been a lot of kind of point shots. And I do think so. He does point shots from 9 and 22. Like 22 is the shooter here. Kevin Fiala is who they want shooting the puck from that right flank. They want to try to set him up. There have been times where Kempe gets a little dowdy-ish and he fires some shots from the point. I have not liked some of Kempe's shot selections. But it's okay if Fiala's firing. That's the guy they want. I think ultimately if Fiala's your trigger man, you're okay from where they got that set up.
I saw some people questioning, how's my mic sound? Sound a little better? Or
it still sounds a little muffled, but it does sound a little better.
Okay.
I can hear you fine.
Okay, cool. Kuzmenko's playing the point way too often. I don't know why he's not down low in his usual spot lately, just to kind of keep it short and sweet. I've seen him up high and not in his usual spot where he was able to feed those cross-ice passes to Kempe or Fiala across the net. He's over in that usual Fiala spot up top. It makes no sense. So that's probably why they ended up taking him off.
Yeah. And that could be. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't think the power play's been like, I know it got cold for a little bit, but I was still willing to kind of see this through. But I think a lot of it has to do with just some of the connectivity and some of the movement and part with like where Byfield was going as well in the bumper. So,
yeah, you have, they went from middle of the pack, top middle of the pack to bottom. I think they're bottom 5 right now. So, but, have a good weekend and you have a good couple games and get back up there.
Yeah.
It's still early in the season. So, yeah, I think it's tough, when you, sometimes in the playoffs, like the whole team is kind of like circling and any player is playing every single position. But when they get settled in, they need to have like some sort of like dynamics. Like, yeah, they're all good at kind of running that chaos power play when they're breaking in the zone really fast. And because it's either Byfield, Kempe or Fiala that take the puck in the zone. Mm-hmm. And then depending on where things settle, they're all rotating around. And you look at the power play last night, all 5 players touched the puck before they scored. So there was some movement, regarding that. But when they, get it, set up, quote unquote, yeah, you want Kuz or Perry down low, and you need that bumper roll to be utilizing the center of the ice.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw a comment West Coast, he wants his net front guy to be 6'5", 230. blah blah blah. Or, yeah, sure. I mean, it doesn't need to be these days. Like, there's teams around the league that have smaller guys in front of that's not a big deal. But like, if Byfield's your net front, he can't also be your bumper. Is that's all I'm saying. Like, he can't be, because I don't want my bumper guy to be net front. Now the slot's wide open, nobody's occupying the slot. So that's where the issue lied for me. But yes, agreed. I still think there's going to be better to come.
The big headlines was they reset the defensive pairings back to how the season started, putting CC back with Dumoulin, saying that they two new players on a new roster, they let them separate them, and now they're bringing back together to kind of test that out. Is this just a testament to that they want Mikey Anderson back up with Doughty? Is this a Mikey Anderson Doughty thing, or like how do you kind of feel why they went back to CC Dumoulin when Dumoulin was doing so much better with Drew?
I guess. I mean, when I saw it happen, I was like, it is what it is. I liked it the way it was before. I wish it kind of stayed that way, to be honest with you. I mean, last night, I guess, was better than obviously what they were at the start of the year. But I feel like that's something that they won't be able to continue, that CC Dumoulin won't be able to continue this kind of success. So, I mean, it was a good start. I'll just leave it at that, and then say like maybe something they can build off him, and that early kind of rust that they had, learning a new system and playing together on a new team. Maybe it was a little rough to kind of deal with. So we'll see. The numbers were still kind of meh.
Yeah, I mean, in Winnipeg is natural stature has Winnipeg is the third lowest. Corsi 4 at 5-on-5 per 60 minutes, third lowest expected goals per 60 minutes. So not exactly an offensive juggernaut of a team. Brandon, I think it has everything to do with Mikey Anderson. That's what they said. I think that's what Hiller had talked about, how they want to make sure Mikey knows he's an important part of the team. And I think we talked about it. I think there's no way they were going to go a whole season where we weren't going to see Anderson back with Doughty. This was going to happen. It was just a matter of when. And the only other question was, do they go back to Dumoulin CC, or do they mix and match elsewhere? Obviously, they just went back to Dumoulin CC. Maybe they feel that the guys are settled in enough. I don't know. I mean, to Russ's point, we'll see what it happens against a different looking team than a team like Winnipeg that's just kind of, they're not really an offensive threatening team. So it worked last night. But yeah, long term, I'm not excited about that at all. I think it's still a pretty big issue, but it is what it is. And I agree, Russ, that I think it was working better, but I can't see the organization happy with Mikey Anderson playing in the role he was playing in with CC. I think they want him playing top minutes with Doughty, top pair. I think that's the way they vision him. So I think it has everything to do with Mikey Anderson.
I switched to my AirPods. I don't know if you guys can hear me better, worse. How are we doing?
I think it's about the same.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. But I thought Dumoulin Doughty was fine. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Even better, maybe. So it's just weird.
I mean, it's what's the what's that adage? I don't cheat. I was just played the hands I was dealt. Like, and there's only so many combinations you can play with traffic cones out there. Like it's just it is what it is, and they seem to refuse to break up Clark and Edmondson. And you look at the money puck lines as far as Corsi 4, like the top ones are Doughty and Anderson at 51%. Clark and Edmondson at 51%, and then CC Anderson at 49%. Like you're getting three pairings that are all around the same, and then Doughty Dumoulin's at 50%. So like if you don't get any drop off from every single line is kind of middle of the pack. You're not getting that up or that down, where you are getting that down with CC Dumoulin most nights at 33%. So like I understand the change, and I guess we'll see how CC and Dumoulin kind of unfold, and they can, I guess, they can always go back and maneuver them again, or mid-game make some changes if they aren't liking what they're seeing.
Yeah, and I think we're also seeing, just kind of when you're looking at some of these numbers, we're seeing like old, I don't want to say old school, but like very volume heavy Kings, right? Um, from a just a shot attempt standpoint. So I just don't know how much that plays into it too, because CC is somebody, he likes to shoot it from the point. Edmondson likes to shoot it from the point. Doughty likes to shoot it from the point. So you just wonder how that all is going to kind of tie in together. And I hadn't yet looked, to be honest, at the game from last night to see what it did. Russ, I know you said it was kind of meh. I haven't actually looked at to see how CC and Dumoulin did. But yeah, I see. Okay, now I do. It was kind of okay. It was fine. But yeah,
right.
I don't know, Brandon. I mean, it is what it is on the back end. Same as the overall play right now. It's just uninspiring.
Exactly. Perfect word.
Well, one positive thing did happen last night, other than the win. Drew Doughty becomes the LA Kings defenseman leader for goals. Just another feather in his cap for his career. Making that case to try to be on the Canadian roster for one last time for the Olympics. What has Drew Doughty meant to this team long term? Maybe what is this record? How does this solidify him amongst D-men within the organization all time? And kind of just how do you feel about the record itself?
I don't think there's any question he's the best defenseman probably in Kings history. Am I speaking out of turn there? I don't think so.
I was going to say Lubomir Vishnowsky, but other than that, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
what he's meant to this franchise, to this organization, he's on the proverbial Mount Rushmore of Kings players in history for me. Like, he's been unreal. He had a little bit of lull there that everybody knows from like his contract and yada yada and all that stuff, but he's bounced back, and he's had I don't know that he's fully back from where he was pre-injury, but he's definitely recovered from where he was toward the end of last season. So we're seeing a much more, competent Drew Doughty. This isn't obviously peak Drew Doughty. He's not like, I don't know where. I'm sure I would bet Canada's going to want him just because Canada's going to want a guy like Drew Doughty. I don't know that he's one of their best six, but hey, we'll see. Hopefully for him, he makes it. I like to hear the news that he wants to just keep playing until he wants to just keep going, and that's good on him. He's fun to watch. Kings have been a lucky organization to have him. No doubt about it.
Yeah, and I think this year's actually been playing like really well compared to maybe what a lot of people's expectations were after what happened last year. So I think he's been really good for the Kings. I mean, it's just kind of tough to kind of look at the decor as a whole, and you forget it's like Drew Doughty's actually kind of, you're trying to single out a player that's playing well. Yeah, obviously Brant Clark, but Drew Doughty's been playing pretty well too. It's just tough. I feel like a lot of the overall sentiment and like, I don't know. It's like that. Like everybody just points to his contract. Thinks like,
I know.
So it's hard to really like truly evaluate like him and because like you have so much negativity around Drew Doughty being paid $11 million a year and he's an $11 million a year player. But the Kings kind of got screwed there because they signed that contract literally right before the COVID season. So you're expecting the salary cap to go up and up and up and up, and that $11 million to be a little bit less of a cap hit percentage than probably what it was going to be. But obviously you have the flat cap era going for the next few seasons, and all of a sudden you're stuck with $11 million player at that flat cap. It's tough. So when you're not getting that level of play that you're expecting from that type of salary, that's where all the negativity comes in. But I mean, overall, when he's been healthy, he's been the best Kings defenseman. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And the Kings need him to stay healthy because if they're actually ever going to make some noise, they're going to need Drew Doughty to be typical Drew Doughty. So,
yep.
I mean, best Kings defenseman in history. He's been great. He's done. It's hard for me to be negative about Doughty because I've always been a fan of defensemen.
Yeah.
And when he was drafted, he brought us 2 cups. So,
and the only thing I'd add to that, Russ, is I hope he's the captain. Like,
Yeah, I'm cool with that too.
Even if it's short term, because his career is obviously on the back nine too. But like he, assuming he, obviously wants it, but like he has earned it. He should be. I hope he gets to see. I hope he gets a chance to be the leader of the team from the captaincy standpoint for the rest of his career. That would be great to see.
Because he's never lacked compete. You know
No.
what I mean? Like,
No.
and there's been I don't know how solidified the rumors are, but I listened to a couple other podcasts that said Drew Doughty gave up booze, hired a personal trainer, hired a nutritionist, and gave up golf this summer to get in the best shape that he's been in because he was upset with his play last season.
Yeah, he said that. He said that at training camp.
Training camp? Okay. Yeah, I didn't know what podcast I heard it on, but it's like that's a guy at his age and taking those types of changes to make sure that he's ready for a team. And yeah, I mean, should paid athletes all be in shape? Of course. But when you're going, like, you're that upset with your play, like, hey, this is not the Drew Doughty that I'm used to playing like. I need to make some changes. Good on him. Like, he wants to win another cup. He wants to play for Canada. He thinks it's an honor. And, are there new upcoming defensemen for Canada that could potentially take a spot, like a Thomas Harley or Matt Schaefer, who is 18, who's having a hell of a season? Yeah, maybe. But I think that he probably gets the nod out of respect, and he could play third pair minutes for Team Canada in the Olympics and have the intangibles, the word that the Kings love to use. But for an organization, you need some of those players that have that bite. And, Team USA has that with the Kachucks in the form of their play style and them liking to mouth off and get under people's skins and all that. But the Canada has that with Marchand, and I think Drew Doughty to an extent never stops yapping on the ice. And I think you need to have a blend on that roster. And I think it'd be good to see him go out one last time for Team Canada, because I don't know if he's got 4 more years in him. But I don't know. As far as Kings lore and where it's at, nobody can ever take the 2 cups away from him. He'll get his number retired in the rafters and probably a statue out front.
Yeah.
So congrats to Drew Doughty there. A little side record for the next player we're talking about, 1,400 games for Corey Perry. So congratulations on
Did you see the graphic? Did you see the graphic that the Kings shared?
That was incredible.
It had all 78 teams he's ever played for.
And then the Dallas one, this walk of shame on Dallas, that was
good.
Great.
Really good.
But Corey Perry still keeping it up. He's second on the team in goals with 5. Got promoted to power play 1. So, seeing him on this team, and we talked about it. We want to see him on the 4th line because I think that 4th line can dominate when everybody's healthy. But he's been the player that they've asked him and Armia to go up and down the lineup and fill in where needed. We sang enough of his praises last week, but it has continued in. What are we seeing from the 40-year-old, and how has he got the fountain of youth in him?
I mean, it hasn't really looked all that different than what he's been the last few years to me, really. I mean, he's just a player who's willing to go to the front of the net and take sticks to the nose like he did last night. That was a whack that he took. But, yeah, he's pretty much doing kind of what you would hope that he would do coming in here, and it's paying off. We've said this, I feel like, or at least I've said this for the last few years, that this team has desperately needed a net front presence. And for whatever reason, they just wouldn't go out and get one. And now you get one. Now you're getting these garbage goals that are going in all of a sudden. And he's like almost, I think he's still leading, or if not close to leading the team in goals. So he's doing everything I kind of expected him to do. And hopefully the production kind of continues along with it.
He's just a cagey veteran, knows where to go, knows where to be. He's still got hands. He's still skilled enough. He's still willing enough. I mean, he's doing, like Russ said, everything as fans would want him to do. Leads the team in goals per 65 on 5, primary points per 65 on 5. He's just involved. He's not going to produce at this level for the rest of the season, but this is the type of play and play style that we'll see from him. And I think that he's been really good. He's been as advertised.
It's funny. West Coast says that he's not even taking dumb penalties, which is like, yeah, we haven't even seen Perry like any of those Perry antics yet. And I'm almost like waiting for them to happen. Like at this point, I'm like, I feel cheated. Like I thought we were getting the Corey Perry. Like what happened all of a sudden? You got good. You got the good Corey Perry. Maybe it's only for the playoffs or later on in the season.
And like along those lines, because he was always somebody that was always in the scrum and in the mess. He hasn't, at least according to Natural Stat Trick, he hasn't drawn a penalty at 5-on-5 either, which is kind of interesting because he's a guy that's certainly going to take some guys to the box with him. But quick aside, another guy that has yet to draw a penalty this year is Adrian Kempe. Is that a little weird for somebody of his play style? You know.
Well, 5-on-5, this team's offensive production has not been good.
That's true.
So, and they've been taking a lot of penalties. So
fair enough.
5-on-5, this team is
unwatchable.
We can talk about it. It's horrible. It's horrible to watch. It's a chore to get through and watch a Kings game at this point. 5-on-5. It's an arduous task at this point. It's terrible. I hate it.
Well, you know what's not terrible? You know what you can't hate is betting on DraftKings. DraftKings right here is the official sponsor of THPN. The NBA season tips off, and so does DraftKings' newest fantasy game, DraftKings Pick 6, is the easiest way to play for big wins, with every possession giving you a real shot at money. Here's how to play. Just pick more or less on 2 or more stats to unlock upside in every game. Pick 6 available in Texas, California, Missouri, and more. New DraftKings customers can get $50 in bonus bets with just $5 entry on your first pick set. Don't just watch basketball. Cash in. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now. Use code THPN. That's code THPN. Play just $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 bonus bets. Make the call. Ride the upside in your partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus age. Eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded. Non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks expire 14 days after issuance. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. Well, I think, I got to get this thing back up. There we go. The banner's back up. Click the wrong button. This team has been horrible to watch 5-on-5. It's been really a struggle. And I think it could be partly the fact that they were doing a lot of penalties early in the season. And then you get an early injury with Corey Perry. You're bringing up Malott, and then you get LaFerriere gets a little bit of an injury, and like you're shuffling lines before the season even starts. And nobody's really even got a chance. And Kopitar with an injury, nobody's really got a chance to settle in. You know what I mean? And so, they need to stop taking penalties, and they need to get a chance to this roster kind of settle in and see where they land. But it's been tough because power play was carrying them, and they were getting points, and now power play is bottom 5 or bottom 7, and they're not playing well 5-on-5. So it's just interesting. We talked about it a little bit last week, and credit to the PDO cast as one of our favorite podcasts that we listen to, but they pretty much said that the Kings are just playing mid hockey right now and gathering points. And so you can either look at it one or two ways. Either the Kings are finding ways to win despite them not playing well, or they're getting lucky puck bounces and are going to continue to play mid, which will be a problem. Or we haven't seen the best Kings hockey out of this team. We're gathering points, and it's only going to get better, right? So, the 3 options are all there. And, I think with Fogle coming back, hopefully soon, and they can get a full forward roster and have 4 lines rocking and not doing this him and Han and shuffling the roster every single night, and to get some continuity, maybe this team does have that next year 5-on-5.
It's good that Fogle, first of all, just good. I thought that injury was going to be way worse than what it seems to be because he's already skating in a red jersey. He'll probably be back pretty soon, if not on the road trip. So that's great. It's funny because I watched the game last night, and you referenced the PDO cast, and Randy, and you shared with us what they had said about the Kings. It's even their wins feel like losses. And it's very true because you came out of that game last night and you're like, great.
Like, I think it's just because there's such a lack of creativity from this team right now. It's just all just north-south. Just, hey, let's get pucks deep. Let's get us to the point, and that's where pucks go to die. Just shots on net from Joel Edmondson and Cody Ceci. That's all it is. I mean, it's just a rim around the boards to the defenseman, and then the blast to the net that most of the time they could see. Maybe you get a tip, maybe you don't.
And the frustrating part is we've been here before. And I think this is the reason why we're so, I guess I can't speak for everybody else, but like that we're so like, whatever, great, cool. Because we know this won't work in April. Like we've been here 4 years in a row now. We know this isn't going to work. And that's the frustrating part. And like, like we were talking before we went on, the shots were 1-1, like midway through the first period yesterday. It's like, what are we watching? And I got a decision to make. Felt like I'm watching this from the East Coast. So I have to make a conscious decision if I can even stay up, like physically, can I stay awake? Okay. Then I got to say, if I can, am I staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning to watch this? And last night it was a grind. I actually fell asleep a little before the game, but then I caught it like just a few minutes in. It's like 16 minutes on the clock. All right, I'm in. I'm watching. Like I'm like I'm not doing this. I'm not. I'll watch it. I'll watch it tomorrow. I'm not going to consciously stay up to 1 o'clock in the morning watching this. I can't do it. Like
how many like hockey fans outside of like the Kings fan base do you think look at the NHL schedule on the day, see the Kings are playing, and go, "Oh, that should be fun. I'm going to watch that game."
Zero.
I'm guessing not many, if any.
Zero.
Like when I see the Canadians or even the San Jose Sharks playing, I'm thinking like, "Oh, I know there's going to be some goals scored here and probably some entertainment." Like, and I get it. Like, it's hard to be like so critical because you want wins, right? Like,
right.
Kings won 3-0 last night. I mean, like, so I don't want to be like so pessimistic about everything that goes on because that's obviously the MO of this team. That's their identity. So they played to their identity, but it becomes such a chore to watch as a fan to do it. So that's why it's like you just want to get through this regular season at this point if this is what you're going to see all year, and hopefully they get like the second or third seed or whatever to the playoffs. And who knows? Maybe something changes in April. But like Joe said, it's just been the same thing.
That's the disheartening thing. Like if the Kings were, I don't know, the Sharks or the Buffalo Sabres, a team that hasn't made playoffs in a while, like, hey, we're hanging in there, we're playing good D, we're winning these games. It's a little more like,
right, yeah,
you're a little
okay,
more
like yeah.
We've been here, we've seen this, we know this isn't going to work in April. Everybody knows this isn't going to work in April. So that's what so like has us like this. Does this matter?
Or is it just because we're jaded because of the?
I guess that's what I'm getting at. I guess that's what I'm getting
at. That's a great, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
because it's like ultimately winning is what matters. Like, what's that Fast and Furious? It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. Like, ultimately, they're gathering points. Is it pretty? No. Like, will it work in April? Who knows? Like, what if the Kings did? Well, we know it won't work if they play Edmonton, but if they get the puck bounces in the playoffs that we didn't get last year, like, like, no, I'm not going to talk myself into saying this team is a completely different team, but
sure,
I want to say that the team hasn't been fully healthy all year, right? Fair. They went out and got 2 fourth line guys that have been playing everywhere else besides the fourth line. When they get those guys back and the roster is 100%, will this team click on all cylinders from the forward group? That's one thing that I want to see. 2, the blue line shuffle that we saw like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, made all the blue lines serviceable. Not great, not bad, but serviceable. So like, is there a play there or another gear there that maybe as Brant Clark continues to progress, because he's looked good, as players like Oliver mentions in the chat, Alex Turcotte's been playing really well. If he can get some consistent line mates with Armia and Perry, is that really going to take off to where we can see more eventful hockey up and down the 5-on-5 because Turcotte's a 5-on-5 machine. Like that's what he is. He's a play driver. So, I just think I don't want hockey royalty to be where we just vent about the BS of this team. Because I think that there is.
Oh, come on.
No, because I have my gripes. I have my gripes as much as anybody else about this roster and how the organization views.
I'm glad you're reeling us in, Brandon, because we need it, right? Because they won last night.
Yeah,
should be happy.
But I'm not going to say, hey, the Kings are destined for the Stanley Cup. I'm also not going to say, hey, like they're the worst team in hockey. But hey, we're seeing very mid hockey. We're getting points. Like, do I really need to like dust up a turkey sandwich? Like, I feel like that's just what we are. It's good. It's gonna get me some sustenance. It's not great. Like that's kind of like where we're at. Like, I don't want to spice it up.
And you're totally right, because up front, like the forward, I feel like it's been very few games, if any at all, where we've seen a complete healthy forward roster. And I mean, I think we saw at least the fourth line when it was Turcotte, Perry, and Armia for like 1 or 2 games, maybe. They looked incredible, and Turcotte, like Oliver mentioned, has looked great. And it's just there's just been so much inconsistency with the up front, and maybe that's what it is, Randy. Maybe you're onto something because like Laferriere was the 1C for a while. Joe Armia was on the top line last night. Like Fogel's hurt right now, so you're not seeing like there's just been so much change. Kuzmenko was playing with Deneau. Like whoever saw that coming? So it's like maybe if you get Fogel back, maybe you can see some consistency. Maybe you see some more offensive production, but. I'm not going to get negative. I'm going to stop right there. I'll stop right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. It's very fair, Brandon. But I mean, again, like there's a lot of teams that have injuries that this stuff happens, and but you're right. You're right. I mean, I don't want to be like negative. It's just, and it's not negative in the sense that like I think the team's bad or the team's not winning, they're 6-4, 6-4-4. So whatever, they're fourth in the division. They're just a middle of the pack team right now. So to your point though, maybe if, when they get Fogel back and they're fully healthy, maybe that creeps them up a little bit toward more the above average side of things. I guess we'll see. That's fair.
You know what everybody likes talking about? Trade buzz. So buzz is already upon us, and I don't know. It might be foil hat worthy, but we'll decide here in a second. Buzz could mean nothing. But when there's smoke, hockey royalty likes to talk about the potential fire. So trade buzz with the Philadelphia Flyers that the Kings are looking for a forward, and what the possibility of that happening. What kind of forwards would interest you? And obviously from a reasonable standpoint, from Philadelphia, and the one that I've heard the most being rumored to be on the block is Owen Tippett. Does that sound like a Kings type of hockey player? Where would he fit in? What do you guys kind of feel?
I'm a big Owen Tippett fan. I mean, I feel like I don't watch a lot of Flyers games, but I see a lot of Owen Tippett highlights, and all the highlights look really good. Quick players with some size, and he's got a great shot. He doesn't play that much. He only averages like 16 minutes a night. So I don't know if maybe that's just Rick Tockett's trying to send a message, or that's just been his MO ever since getting to Philly. But he doesn't like seem like an LA Kings type of player that they would want to go after. I would love to have a player like Owen Tippett on my team. I think that's a player that can help this team maybe build off the rush a little bit more, as opposed to just being so stagnant and trying to build in the offensive zone. Maybe you add some more speed and some more offensive flair. Maybe he's kind of that home run hitter that you can add to like if him playing with Byfield and Fiala instead of Laferriere, and then maybe you move Laferriere off that line somewhere else, or even have to move Laferriere. So I wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying that type of player.
Yeah, I think the question comes down to though is like what's the trade? Because I'm okay. I'm here for Owen Tippett. I'm intrigued for Owen Tippett, but I'm not James Brant Clark for Owen Tippett.
No.
So I I think that's what it comes down to. And I don't know that there's a player that I'm all that excited about. If there's rumors about Brant Clark, I'm not that interested. So that's the question for me is like, what is it that Philly's looking for from Los Angeles that could actually make a deal? Because I don't know. I don't see a roster player move here with Philadelphia. And is there a prospect that Philadelphia wants? If there's a Tippett move from LA, is Philly wanting to make a move like that? Because this is a team they fancy themselves that they're trying to take a step here. Are they going to trade?
I mean, every Eastern team is in the playoffs right now. Apparently.
Right. Are they going to try to trade a mid-20s roster player for a prospect? That seems so. I don't think I don't know. I think there's a lot went into Marc Bergevin was in Philly, and that scares everybody. That scares me. If Marc Bergevin's in any arena outside of LA, potentially scouting or coming up with a trade idea. But I don't know what's realistic there, right? Because I don't know what Philly wants from Los Angeles that LA would be willing to part with. So Tippett's fine. I like Tippett. Again, I just don't know, what the D's coming. I just don't know what the trade looks like.
We're totally out on I know he's got a no trade clause. But we're totally out on a Brant Clark for Travis Sanheim move, right?
Yeah,
100%.
Okay, just making sure.
I don't think you had to ask Randon that question, but
no, I probably didn't.
No, I'm and I don't know. I remain side-eyed about what the future for Brant Clark is in Los Angeles. I hope that they view him as an important piece, and they're going to look to lock him up, but. I don't know. I think I do. Again, Tippett. I think Tippett makes some sense. Like you said, decent size winger, right shot, can shoot the puck, skates well. And I don't know. The Kings on the right side don't have a ton of Kempe's playing the right wing as a left shot. They have Laferriere. So is he kind of similar to Laferriere?
The chat is mentioning your buddy Rasmus Ristolainen.
Next.
Konechny was the one that was being floated around last year as a possible trade deadline, not necessarily to the Kings, but just in the league. He's their heart. He's the forward group. Obviously, he would be a type of player that you'd want to remain on your team if you're trying to take that next step because he's a contending type piece. But do the Flyers view themselves as buyers, one or two pieces away, or is this them trying to get value for a guy that is later on in his 20s and maybe get a young piece? Would you be able to pull off a Laferriere in a first or a Laferriere prospect in a first for Konechny, or are they looking on the D side?
Does that make the Kings much better?
Konechny's way better than Laferriere.
I think it makes them better, but maybe on the margins.
Konechny's a fine player. I do like Konechny, but it's he seems to be another on a contending team, kind of a middle six workhorse type of a player rather than impact point producer. Maybe I'm wrong there. And again, I've got a blind spot on Philly. I don't know. But
I wonder if he'd be a better playoff performer though,
76
that
points,
type.
68 points, 61 points, 52 points.
Okay. I'm wrong.
Bring some more intensity for sure to the team in the playoffs at least.
Yeah.
I feel I feel like Holland's gonna looking for his Matthias Ekholm type move, right? He traded a couple first round picks for Ekholm. I think it was a couple first round picks. He got Kulak, so he knows to build the D. It's just I don't know why he's building it the way he is now, right? But I don't know. Edmondson wasn't his guy, wasn't his choice. Who knows? I mean, he obviously picked another guy kind of similar to him, but I'm curious, what his overall thought is on the Kings defense right now, because you look at the moves that he made in Edmonton are so anti what he's done here so far. I mean, he gave Nurse all that money. It's not like Nurse was this defensive stalwart. like that he was known for. I
Well,
mean, Ekholm, you can kind of
big.
say that.
Big. He likes the big guys. So
Yeah.
that's
Who
why
likes-
I think Edmondson, he's probably adores. He believes in the big defenseman. So I don't know. I think that's his thing.
I'm seeing some Blues chatter in the chat. Anybody in the Blues entice you? Maybe any
Oh,
There you go.
upgrades
There you
there?
go. LaFerriere, Green Tree, and a first for Jordan Kyrou.
I love Kyrou. You guys know I love Kyrou.
Mhm.
So I'm a huge fan of Kyrou. And I will just to go back, I'll take the L. I will stand corrected on Konechny. He's probably better than I'm giving him credit for. I'll eat that. That's fair. I don't know that. Yeah, I just don't know if Philly does that. I don't know. I can see them moving Tippett, I guess, but I don't know that Konechny. I don't know. I just find it odd that Philly would make a move that it's not for a roster player. I'll put it.
I feel like Konechny is one of those players, and Brady Tkachuk mentioned this on the ice in Amazon or whatever, that he feels like, yeah, I'm an all-star, but like not a lot of people watch him play because they're done playing in March. Like they're not playing meaningful hockey ever. So like him playing the Four Nations was a chance to show what he could really do on a grand scale. And Konechny's, I don't think the Phillies ever made the playoffs when he's been there, or maybe once. So it's like he hasn't played a lot of meaningful hockey outside of the Four Nations, right? I think he was on Team Canada, but he was one of those fringe players. And so it's like, I think he's a great player. I think he's got some nastiness to his game, a lot more points than LaFerriere. And that would be I think that would be an upgrade. Would that be where you would want to spend a first? I don't, that's the type of place. There really isn't no spots on the D-core. Like you would have to ship out Edmondson to make room. Like, and then you're paying more for somebody to eat that contract. So, they're not shipping out CC. They just signed him. Edmondson is pretty much, I guess Mikey Anderson's name's been tossed around. He's got a very good contract. But then where are you going there with the D crew?
Mm-hmm. I don't see any defenseman being moved. I don't know. I don't see it. I think the move would have to be up front.
So then if you're looking at probably using a first or a prospect to add to a roster player to upgrade.
Yeah, probably.
I just don't feel. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that there's a Philly there. I don't know.
What's Konechny's contract?
I'm actually on Puckpedia right now. Konechny,
'Cause
a lot of years for 8.75.
Is there any trade protection?
Yep. So he's not coming.
Like, is it like a full no trade?
No movement clause. Cannot be traded.
Oh,
nothing.
wow.
Full no move. He's signed.
Yeah, because
2020 to 2023.
33, you mean?
33. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at he's played in his last playoff appearance was 2019-20, where he was 22 years old. He had 7 assists in 16 games. 16 games for Philly. But yeah, they haven't been in the playoffs since then.
So,
I mean, he could be a good player. I would love to see him. I mean, that's kind of the intensity type player that the Kings have maybe missed in the playoffs.
Yeah. So, I think here's the other interesting thing. If we're updating the blue line, Mikey Anderson plus prospects for a legit LD1, but it seems like the organization is so enamored with him being in the leadership group with this team. Obviously, they gave him an 8-year contract, and he hasn't. I mean, he's played up to the contract number, and we talked about Drew Doughty and being disappointing with not playing up to an $11 million player. I mean, Mikey Anderson's been well worth his money so far. So,
I mean, for me at this point, anybody besides Brant Clark on the defense is totally tradable. I mean, I guess Doughty too, but all 4 other guys, like, cool. What are you going to give me? What can they get in return? I mean, if Mikey Anderson can be included in a trade for, like West Coast says here, like a legit LD1, then who's that guy?
Right. Yep.
I'm not. I mean, Mikey. I love
Yossi.
Mikey, but cool. Where do I sign? How do we make this happen? Bring his Swiss buddy over. Bring Phil's Swiss buddy over here. Like, I mean, we love Mikey, and great player, but the Kings have 4 other Mikeys. Like
the thing is, but we have to remember, because we do this every year, the Kings value defense. So like what we're looking for or see as a potential upgrade, the Kings may not, right? Because Mikey is a shutdown defenseman. So
but Roman Josi can play defense and offense.
I know, but the Kings don't want to play offense.
I mean, they just moved Mikey up to get him more LD1 minutes.
Yeah.
So they value him pretty highly.
I don't think Mikey's going anywhere, but I generally agree with Russ's statement that, like, yeah, I mean, if he's a part of a deal, I'm not going to, whatever, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But
Can we have one trade deadline where it's like we get a holy shnikes moment? This one.
I mean, Holland's done that in the past, and he even referenced it. Like, he's not afraid to make those big moves.
Well, I think he's going to have something cooking, because again,
I feel like he does too.
Yeah, he has to. It's just what is that? The Kings don't have a lot of. We've talked about this. They don't have a ton of prospects. He's going to have to be a first. And what player's coming back? Is it really a defenseman? Because then what defenseman's not playing?
Green Tree's a good prospect. He could be.
Yeah, but so that's why I don't know that they're going to address the blue line, because right? I mean, I know we got down a rabbit hole a little bit, I think, in terms of like looking ahead, but I don't know. I guess quickly again back to Philly. Konechny would be an ad. I just don't know what that trade is, and I don't know why Philly's trading him. And St. Louis, I'm always all in on Jordan Kyrou.
Is he a center wing hybrid, or is he play mainly wing?
He's mainly wing.
Shen would be an interesting name too if he's ever moved, but I mean, you have a bunch of centers already here. I don't know. The Blues are in an interesting spot.
I think it's too early for them
in the cellar.
Yeah, they're too early to talk selling though. They got some.
Yeah, we were just talking about their.
I think
they're
top 5 in the NHL in expected goal share. So if they can't get a save, they have league worst goaltending. So you can't.
The worst PDO in the league, yeah.
Right. So I still think it's a little early for the, Blues to, talk salary or anything like that.
Where there has been real Blues is in the attendance for the LA Kings. Been a huge thing on LA Kings Twitter, LA Kings Twitter fandom. A lot of people were saying, well, with the World Series playoffs and all this kind of stuff like that they haven't really been able to fill out the seats. Well, no World Series last night, and they were about 80% occupancy. Is it just the tickets are too expensive? Is it getting to the arena? I mean, they're doing everything they can with these 7:30 and 8 p.m. start times to get people there. So, Russ, what have you heard from fans on the ground there at the stadium, and why do you feel like the Kings don't have that type of fandom?
Well, I think a lot of it was kind of what we were talking about earlier. Like our buddy Jocks here in the chat mentions, it's just not a fun product on the ice. I mean, they could win games, but they're just snoozers. I mean, nobody outside of LA is staying up to watch LA Kings games. Not even LA Kings fans want to stay up and watch LA Kings games on the East Coast just because of how they like to play their games. So it's unfortunate. I mean, we've talked about this, I feel like, for years now, that this is a team that's in LA that plays behind the Lakers, the Dodgers, and this glitz and glamour, but they play this meat and potato style of hockey game where it turns it into a chore to watch. It's funny because, like, I don't know, I forget which game it was, but one of the games I was riding the elevator down with some employees who were having their own little side convo, and I kind of was eavesdropping a little bit. And someone asked, like, oh, the attendance, it looks pretty bad today. And then the elevator attendant was like, yeah, I think it's only like 10, 12,000. It's like really sad. I'm like, oh, man, because it was announced like 16,000. But you can kind of tell there's not that many seats that are full. And even last night, I thought it was actually a pretty decent crowd, considering, I mean, it's the Jets. It's a Tuesday night, so I'm not expecting like a sellout. But it was still, like Brandon mentioned, it was 80% full. So you would hope to get that up at least into the 90s. Still early in the season. I know there's a hangover from the Dodgers and whatnot. I'm sure a lot of paying customers spend a lot of money, maybe go to those games. So, but yeah, it's just, it's not necessarily an electric product that teams want to watch. I mean, I find myself watching Ducks games whenever they're on at this point. Which is kind of frustrating, but is what it is. They're a team that likes to play fun hockey, and I like watching fun hockey. So,
yeah, and I think the other part too, with it wins. Like, remember the Kings. If you're just straight looking at wins and losses, the Kings are 6-8. Like I understand they've picked up points, which is part of it, right? That's important to pick up points, but it's not as if this team is like 9-3, right? I think if there was, the product is what the product is, but you're 9-3, right, or something along those lines, or you're having a little bit of a different type of start. Like it's kind of a 500-ish. However you want to try to finagle the standings. I mean, I know they're technically above, but then at the same time, they've lost more than they've won. But because of the overtime point, how it works, however you want to do that, like it's not I think that's part of it too. And this was their first win at home. So it's not like they've been winning at home either so far this season. So, you factor all those things in, and, I don't know. I don't have the luxury of being out there to see them at home. I've never seen them at home. So I have to see them when they come out here when I can. And so, whether they're boring or not, I'm going to go try to see them when they come out east. So it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know that some of the fans in the chat have seemed to have spoken a little bit anyways about what it is. So I don't know. I don't know.
Joe, we got to get you out to LA, put some sand in your feet, and
there you go.
I know.
Well, let's just hope for better hockey going forward. More fans in the seats, more goals in the net, and more fans listening to Hockey Royalty. So please hit that like button on your way out. Tell your mom, your dog walker, your barber to hit that subscribe button. We're on our quest for 1,500 and up to 2,000 this season, so help us out with that. All of our articles are being written at hockeyroyalty.com. For all your rain coverage, follow Kyle Garcia at Kopitar4HOF. We're going to have him on here pretty soon to talk about the rain season coming up. Russell Morgan is very stylishly wearing the Let Kev Be Kev t-shirt. You can get those. Please hit up Russell Morgan on X Twitter to get your next shirt there. Always willing to throw a discount to a fellow Hockey Royalty listener. As always, on this podcast, go Kings go.